this one we'll be painting this badass dragon. I got this dragon on eBay, so yeah, pretty cool. I know close to nothing about painting. It's been so long since I painted sculpture. Actually, not that long, but miniatures, that one. It's like a long time ago. So feeling a bit nervous, and okay. So sculpture I bought over at eBay, and let's see, it came in three parts. This is the hand, and these are the horns, and of course the main piece itself. So today I'm just gonna start from scratch. And this is how it should look like. This is like the mature dragon. This is a juvenile dragon. But I thought this was cooler, so I got this one. And it came really nice in a nice box and everything. So hopefully we'll get a good piece. So from the get-go, I kind of realized that the horn doesn't fit as nicely, so I would have to file it down. So I got my metal filer here. I'll probably have to smoothen it over. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Let's start with the other horn. I quite like the asymmetry of this. Right, this one's the hand that you can fit over here. So the hand is supposed to fit here. For this one, I don't have to sand anything, which is awesome. So over here, you don't have any hands. And then the horn looks like that on this side, but this horn is kind of small. So I quite like the asymmetry. It's like very chaotic and very interesting at the same time. So the same thing here, I guess. It doesn't look quite nice because of the molding cast. super glue, super glue. I'm always so afraid of super glue. So permanent. Just let that sit there for a bit. And other one. I kind of figured the color scheme for everything except the horns. I have no idea what to color the horns with. Wait, before I stick it, I just want to make sure if this is the one I want. Now, okay, looks pretty good. A generous amount of super glue. Okay. Yay! Our dragon has grown horns. So, what do we do next? We prime. I'm not gonna add the little hands until a little later. So that's how it looks like. And we're gonna use the surface primer. My webcam is inverted, so that's why you can't read it properly. I like to airbrush my sculptures. I tried using paintbrush before, but then sometimes air bubbles can get trapped and then it just kind of leaves a bubble mark of where the bubble used to be. So some people do it really nicely with a brush, but not me. So I am using a paint airbrush for this, sorry. And another thing that I learned is to dilute it with water. Cause it looked kind of, the consistency looked quite safe at one point. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't need to dilute it. So I did not dilute it. It totally clogged up my airbrush, and I couldn't fix it. I couldn't clean it myself. I had to get the professionals to clean it. So I think a spray is also suitable for this because there's so many creases and concave parts that your brush probably couldn't get to, at least not with ease. So airbrush would help a lot. So, and also kind of be aware that because you spray from the top, and I know it's kind of like, what do you call it, common sense, but sometimes you can be absent-minded about the bottom. So, just kind of be aware of that. Okay, so today we're doing a dragon sculpture, and what was I gonna say? Oh yes, we have to wait for the primer to dry in between so I can put proper layers on it. But if you are like me and you're totally impatient, I will use a hairdryer to dry it faster because time is important. Every second gone is a second I can never get back, people. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, hair dryer is just not for the hair. So I was like looking here. I was like, oh, I stuck the horns the wrong way. It's supposed to be the other side, but you know, I guess it's okay. Like the longer horn should be on the other side as compared to the shorter one, but never mind. Let's do it our style, guys. Okay, don't follow according to the guide photo. So just do it our own style. But I do think it looks a little bit more menacing like that. Like the horns just kind of like going out like creeping branches. So let's add our second layer of gesso. I bought this a long time ago. It's called Studio Extra Time Slow Dry Medium. I wanted to buy this so when I paint, the so when I paint it with acrylics, I was hoping it could slow down by 20 minutes. Or yeah, see it says here 20 by slow down the dry medium 20 by 20 to 30 minutes. It so did not work. I was so disappointed that I did not touch that game. So I've watched Lisa's acrylic tutorials and how she used pouring medium. This isn't exactly pouring medium, but I kind of figured it has the same properties. It's thick, it's liquidy. So let's give it a try. Where is my palette knife? So the colors I want to use are cerulean blue. Okay, let's try. I'm not really sure if this. So I got cerulean blue by Golden Artist Colors. I got titanium white. Let's see. I'm not sure whether I should use this. This is ultramarine blue by Vallejo. I'm not sure which color looks better. I don't know. I'm probably going to mix this with livery green. I just love that neon green. So what I'm trying to do is I imagine like Lord of the Rings when they were at the castle of the ghosts and they have that cyan color, the greenish blue vibe to it. So I'm planning to do that. Um, so yeah, so I'm thinking mix light neon green with blue and a touch of white. So tell me guys, which color you think is best? Which blue? Ultramarine blue or cerulean blue? If I mix this with white, it gives a very nice sky blue. This one, not so much. I think I haven't used it in a long time. There's a layer of clear liquid. Just gonna mix it. Uh-oh. Guys, I think I haven't used this in a really long time. It has separated. It's no longer like a liquidy style. Wow. Oh, Elise. This is what happens. I don't know. Maybe I haven't used it in such a long time. Should I still use it? I think we should give it a try. It looks very pudgy. It looks like tofu fa right now. It's a dessert dish where you can see the tofu-ness in there. All the tofu and then you mash it up. That's what it looks like right now. Maybe if I mix it good enough, it'll be nice and creamy because that is the consistency it should be. Okay. Let's see. We'll put a whole chunk of it right here. That will be white. Let's put this here. I'm here for green. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. But it shouldn't be too thick. Oops. It's a lot. It's a lot of the slow drying medium in there. I don't know how it goes yet, so we'll just try just a little bit. I always remember the mistake I always make when I bake things is that I always bake too much on the first try. And then after that, you just like, and then it fails, and then you just have all this excess food, and then you just waste it, and I get really sad. That looks like coconut cream. It does, Angel. I honestly don't know what I'm doing here, but it's fun. It's fun experimenting. I used to have this fear, and this are times where fear definitely holds you back. In 2017, I was like, I was I only did 3 paintings of canvases because I was like so not having it. So like, oh, I feel so like my canvas paints will not improve. I just like stopped thinking of doing. I'm not so keen on doing it anymore, but it was because I was afraid to experiment for the most part. Okay, so it looks good. So after that, I was like, yeah, okay. I was like thinking, I was observing other people's paint. Sometimes you don't have to watch tutorials. You just have to look at a person's painting, and you can just kind of figure out the technique they use. So I was like looking back at my own painting, I was looking at other people's painting, and I was like thinking, well, yeah, there was something I didn't see before. This technique. Okay, I should totally incorporate this into mine. So then I did the squirrel, and it was like my eyes kind of opened, and I was like, oh, this was what I was missing all along. And blam! So I want it to be a little bit watery, but at the same time thick. If you guys know what I mean. Okay, this one looks nice. A nice consistency. So I like the part of this slow drying medium that I didn't like when applied to acrylics. It became too slick, that it did not stay on the canvas very well. So I guess to its advantage here, that is what I want for this. So it's like a very, okay, we can try that. Okay, we can go over here. It's an art adventure to imaginatively go where no man has gone before. Yes, that is so true. I love those eureka moments when you figure things out. Yes, yes, that is amazing, and it is very. You feel proud of yourself, you know, that you took the initiative to know that you are afraid, and yet you did it. Oh no! Oh, what am I doing? To know that you are afraid, but you decide that this is what you should go for. So I keep mixing it. So all these pigments, even though they look white, they are technically colorless, because the moment you put your paint in it, it kind of multiplies the pigment in your paint. But by multiplying the pigments in your paint become more transparent. So there should be like a ratio you should work towards, like how much paint you use as compared to the medium you're adding to. So I use this, and another one was I use a heavy body paste to give that nice thick look to it, like an impasto effect. Okay, so now it looks like a nice thick paste. And for the last one, okay, last one is here. Oh dearie me. Doesn't look that nice. It should use more paint. Actually, this one looks very nice. I never thought that through. So sometimes I see those artists doing like abstract art. I just thought I could use that concept. I'm not particularly happy with this uh, experimentation. Perhaps if I change the colors, I guess. To make it mute, like Angel recommended. Mute the colors. So I want it to be like a magical box thingamajig. If that makes any sense. But with my Createx paints, I can just use windscreen wiper fluid, which is just basically alcohol that tints the paint, which is great. I use that too. I use Windex, which is like a 1-to-1 ratio. Busy, haha. What's that? Dragon? Yes, it is a dragon. It's a bone dragon. And I'm experimenting with something new here. So it is interesting, to say the least. I'm experimenting, trying out something like I've watched Lisa Klo's videos on how she used pouring medium to kind of do like a very abstract, almost oil painterly feel to it. So this I'm trying to like replicate that, but it's a different uh something different. I didn't expect to get the results that I did, so I'm just kind of like contemplating whether I should proceed or not. Oh, darn. Ooh, I really like this one. This one looks so oozing, you know? Okay. See guys, compare this. Okay. Oh my god, focus already. Okay. Compare this. See how it just drips with this. Not so nice in terms of color as well. So this one has like a lot more color. This one, not so much. And blue. Got lots of blue on top. I'm starting to see what makes this nice. Unfortunately, I have to do this like for like 7 times just to realize what makes it nice, and then I just have to redo it again. It's alright. And then some of this color as well. Gotta give it some lovely contrast. Okay, now time for the scrapey work. Okay, time for the whites. Ooh, this one's a nice place for blue as well. Okay. Some white here, some white there. Oh, I love this. It's looking so psychedelic. I love psychedelic. It kind of reminds me of the Killing Joke issue. Psychedelic colors. style. Usually I would just airbrush the dragon then only start painting, but I'm trying out to just use a paintbrush and see where that takes me. I wonder whether the horns should be bone color as well. I don't, or maybe they should be blue. Should they follow?
Most horns don't follow the color of the skin.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, let's mix it up a bit. Let's go with bluish green. So we're gonna mix ultramarine blue and some of that neon green. Okay, so I'm mixing the two colors. Maybe add a little bit more of that green. Add more of that good stuff. Okay, let's see. How does this work? So it's like a blue-ish green mixture combined. And voila. That's what we get. It's quite interesting. So I'm not doing it like really thick. I'm just kind of like doing it watery, so maybe it could blend well together. There's a lot of air bubbles in there. I think I'll do this. Maybe one layer. Maybe one more layer. And then I'll dry brush it white to make the details pop a little. I love airbrushing, especially on sculptures. It really makes it look so amazing. Oh yeah, I forgot to paint this part too. Maybe I should paint it closer to you guys. Oh, it looks better. It looks better like that. You guys can see it. I I did not think it would actually go according to plan. I would say that much. Like like sometimes when you plan things and then they just like go according to your plan, and you just kind of go like, huh, okay, like, whoa, the stars are aligned. Oops, too much water. Too much water. So we are gonna do like the first layer was just to lay the colors down. Second layer is just to like mix them up now. So now I'm like doing like a mixture of it. I'm trying to like blend the colors. This is so much easier compared to airbrush. And I have more control too, so I'm really liking this paintbrush style. Usually, when you dry brush, you're actually just dry brushing the very top surface of the um, sculpture. So, especially when the sculpture has a lot of texture, this will bring out a lot of the textures. Okay, like you can see, like right here, because of the dry brushing, it brings out a lot of this textures that I love, absolutely love, 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 love. And this can only happen with a dry brush, hence the term.
I mean, just any brush that's dry, right?
Preferably not a new brush. A new brush is too
Dry.
no.
Stiff.
Not stiff, like too uniform. Like you see these old brushes, all the bristles are like everywhere, so it works really well. See, I love all the textures that you couldn't see before, but because you dry brush it, you can actually see a lot of it going up. It's really cool. I really like dry brushing. Dry brushing is sick. Today I'm going to like go into the nook and crannies. Like inside here I didn't highlight it as compared in the last stream. Like inside here as well, you can see a lot of that texture, but it's not clearly seen. So we have to take advantage of that and just show every detail we can. And over here I have to brighten it up as well so it can look a little bit like that. Then we're gonna go with the bone color. I'm gonna take out the bone. Oh, I always forget the little leg. We gotta work on the little leg as well. And I have to put all this paint to one side first, or not. It's getting me confused because my workspace is so small. See all my paints here. Guess my little color palette. For the bone, I like to use this Vallejo Bone White. Alright, sorry you guys, it's inverted. But basically this is Vallejo Bone White. And it's one of my favorite colors because it's not exactly white. It looks like, you know how bones, they're like a little bit of like a peach, not peach, beige, like a beige color. So bone white it is. I kind of got this from like Citadel. But I like Vallejo because I like squeeze bottles. So I got this. So I'm gonna use like variants of colors. I got heavy brown, which will be like the shadows. Leather brown, I guess. Like a mixture between mid-tone and highlight. More like, like in between the shadow and mid-tone. Bone white is gonna be like majority of it because, you know, it's a bone dragon and I do like that element of bone in there. So let's start. So for those who caught my last week's stream, you know I'm all about that dry brushing. So we're gonna continue our dry brush. Now I have two different brushes. I have this, which is like the medium-sized brush. Then I have a smaller brush. So I buy the cheap brushes because I have, I guess, no sentimental attachment to it. So what I did was, for the little ones, I cut the tip. Like, do you see these two are the same brushes? But you can see you can see this one is slightly longer and sharper compared to the other one. So actually they're the same brushes, but I cut a quarter of it out so I can dry brush it. So because like there's a tip at the end is for precision, and that's not dry brushing. Dry brushing is to kind of like get a lot of its surface dry brushed. So you're trying to get more surface area, so I cut like a quarter of it out. And it's a small brush so I can get inside the nook and crannies. So for this one, since we're not going right into the heart of it, so I'm just gonna take the medium-sized brush and I'm gonna brush it here. I'm trying to get like inside as much as possible, because you want, like, even though people will see it from afar, they don't really go into the detail of it. But there'll be like a small percentage of people who would actually gaze upon it in all its detail. So you probably like want to give them little nice Easter eggs to show that you really put a lot of effort into it. So I guess I quite like this this pattern. I don't know what you call it, but it kind of looks like a bee's honeycomb when you when I think about it. It's like the closest thing I can describe it to. So, as I said before in my previous stream, that I want all this here to be like a bone color, but I'm gonna paint here green, because to show the transitioning of it coming out of the cube. I think that's a nice effect. So like I said before, it's kind of like telling a story. And the story, it doesn't have to be like a paragraph. It's just visual storytelling that this is a cube, but the dragon is coming out of the cube. So I want to show kind of like a narrative side that it's coming from. I don't want it to look so separate like a Photoshop cut and paste job. Even though that works as well, but like personally, this is the style I would want to portray. There's nothing wrong with it being very different, the dragon and the cube, but it's just this is the look I'm going for. Trying to go up all in that dry brush in. Did I mention I like dry brushing? I really like dry brushing. So every time I do this, I have to mix my colors, the blue and green. It's always nice if you have like 60 different colors to choose from. Unfortunately, if you are broke or cheapskate, thrifty, stingy, then it's best to just mix the colors to save up. Save up on money. So yes, one thing great about paints is that you may not have the money. I mean, it is pricey, but the thing is you can choose what you want to do with it. And in this case, I like to mix my paint up so I don't have to spend so much on others, like, because there is a whole range. When you look for it, it's really there. Especially like I've been to stores, especially the Vallejo collection. Oh, it's like so many kinds. Citadel, Vallejo, they have like a whole lot of different variants of color. Like, yeah, it's really nice. Like every spectrum of the rainbow, you can find it. Yeah. So now I'm taking my little brush, the one I showed you, and I'm gonna go in between the shell of the dragon, because previously I was so engrossed with painting the armor that I forgot to do this. The little honeycomb of the dragon. So you may not see, I'm not sure if you can see it, but now you can see all the little details of the honeycomb in between the neck, the throat, and the shell. It's a lot nicer. I always like dry brushing. If you ask me to do this without dry brushing, I don't think I can do such a spectacular job. So yeah, So for the honeycomb, I'm still going to go with a bluish green. I quite like that color. For the sides of the throat, I'm going to do a little bit of bluish green, and then I'm going to, I don't know, I'm kind of torn between the transitioning of bluish green, or should I just go straight to the bone color? I don't know. I still got time to think about it. I'm just going to dry brush the honeycombs inside. I'm like painting this, and then the song just came into my mind. It's like Bad to the Bone. If you guys ever hear that song, you guys should Google it, Bad to the Bone. The first time I heard it was watching Terminator 2. My favorite movie. One of my favorite movies. Like, if you lived on this earth, you gotta watch that movie at least once. So I'm trying to go even like underneath. Try not to neglect it. It's definitely an angle that is almost always forgotten for me. So yeah, just gotta remember that these angles actually exist. Yes, you will, Dark Fox. I'll make sure you watch it. And I'll watch Mad Max. I still haven't watched Mad Max. Don't be hating on me, people. I have heard wonderful things about it, which I will eventually experience myself. So I'm not sure how it looked like before. I bet it looked really, really dark. So you can see all the details of it starting to come together. So I'll have to do this like a few times. No matter. As one of my favorite quote in Toy Story 3. No, not Toy Story 3. Toy Story 2. You can't rush art. Ooh, that was like my favorite scene when the gosh, I don't know what's that what that profession called. I guess he's a restorer of antiques, and Woody being an antique doll, he was like, he came in and he started working on Woody. Oh, it was so cool. He has like the toolbox, the custom made toolbox and everything, and had a little barber chair for Woody. It was so cool. And then the current owner of Woody was like so eager for him, like, when are you gonna finish it? When are you gonna finish it? So it's like he's asking, what time can it be done? And then the restorer was like, you can't rush art. If only that were true. I mean, like, yeah, you can't rush it, but these days with all, like, I don't know, I guess corporate artists always got deadlines, like comic book artists, all the crazy deadlines. I'm guessing separate out the bone color compared to the shell, the throat, sorry. I guess like maybe from here there's a emergence of green and the bone, and then as we slowly move upwards, it's kind of like a solid being already, because it's like over here he's like slowly merging out, he's being conjured up. So over here is like when he's like a part of the cube, and then as he slowly goes up, he's like a more solid being in this realm. I guess we can go with that. Quite like that idea. So you can like see like over inside here. Over here you can't really see much. It is really, really dark. So we're taking a little bit of white in there. Alright, so let's see here. Let's slowly add in the dry brushing. So I quite like the mixture between ultramarine blue and livery green or livery. I don't know how you guys pronounce that. A liver or a liver. Because it's Livery. I can't remember the ratio, so we'll just. I think it's 3 parts green, 2 parts blue. But in any case, just kind of mix it up until you get it. The paint was a little bit solid in the ultramarine blue, so I opened the cap, put in a little bit of airbrush cleaner because that's really good at dissolving the paint. So maybe 2. So wonderful. So see, it's all very fluid coming out already. Previously, it was stuck. I thought I ran out of paint, but honestly, no. See all the dried up paint stuck up there. Okay, so we got our little little hand there that I totally forgot because, you know, out of sight, out of mind. Let's do a little dry brushing here. So we are painting the bone dragon. Look at this guy. Look at this. Just look how cool he is. I'm just in awe to be able to paint this guy. So Dark Fox introduced me over at eBay. Oh my god, it's too much paint. So Dark Fox introduced me over at eBay. I found this cool guy and I just had to get it. He cost like $20. That's not bad. I think for miniatures, they're really, really expensive. Miniatures, for that kind of price, you can get those tiny little ones. The troop ones. And I don't really like troops. I like creatures. I like dragons and, I don't know, sea creatures, wild boars, and like all those yada yada yada. But I think they're really expensive because they do a lot of damage in terms of tabletopping games. So they tend to be really expensive. So for this one, it's just nice to be able to buy an unpainted model that is affordable. So I did not glue the hand in because I wanted all the paint to drip to melt down first, and then I paint it separately. Then I will use a super glue and combine these two together. So now I'm like thinking it's close to here, but at the same time it's a bone. So I'm thinking the first half will be green, here will be bone color, and here will be green as well. Or no, maybe half of it. Yeah, it's really hard to explain. I'll show you guys as I paint. So have you been doing art lately, Jay? Ooh, have you got your new laptop? Are you streaming art now? So I'm just dry brushing. So you can see all the tiny little details. You see all the tiny little details being enhanced through dry brushing. And I think texture, the idea of texture is very supported these days. Like, if I notice, like, superhero costumes, right? You look at the old Superman, Christopher Reeve's time. It's just a very smooth costume. Like, it just looks like a piece of cloth. But if you look at today's Superman, you can see that his costume has a lot of texture in it. And not only just Superman, Batman as well. You can just look at the old movies compared to today's movies, even The Incredibles. You notice that Helen's Elastigirl's new costume is so textured. And that's why it looks so great. It's because we love texture. We don't really like a blank space. We like to see all this information, to know what is the different material in front of our eyes. And that is really good. Like, especially for painting, whether it's acrylic painting or digital painting, those little textured brushes helps a lot because they kind of give all this quick random texture that is just kind of pleasing to the eye. And it's nice to know if it looks like grass, it looks like grass, you know. If it looks like a brick wall, I mean, if you're going for a brick wall and it looks like a brick wall in terms of texture, that's very satisfying to me. At least is very satisfying to the eye. Because if everything looks smooth, I'm talking about realism here, then it's not so realistic. Okay. Okay, we're gonna mix it up here. So I think it's nice that my little cup has not been washed, so you can actually compare the colors. And okay, all right, I'm right. It's pretty bluish green to me. So now we're going back here since there's all this excess paint. Just going to add those shades right in there, right in the heart of it. We're probably gonna add in some blue as well, because I don't know, for me, how I get through my artist blocks, it's kind of the opposite of you actually. My artist block is when I get nothing, no idea in my head, or not no idea as in like no mood to paint. I just don't do anything. I don't feel motivated to draw or paint. So what I do is I give myself maximum 2 weeks to do nothing. Like, when I say nothing, I mean like binge watch, play video games to my heart's desire, and like do nothing art related. And then if I still have that feeling of laziness to not want to paint, what I then do is, if I still don't feel like painting or start on my work, then I would force myself. I would tell myself, I would like force myself to sit down, especially when it comes to streaming. When you stream, you feel obligated to start something. So when I stream, I feel like okay, people are here to watch me paint. Well, okay, when I say people are here, I mean like like in the beginning of the stream, I have zero people watching me. So, but it's like you feel like okay, people will eventually come, and when they come, they would want to see something happening. So then I start reluctantly start painting, and then when I start painting, I was like, okay, this feels fun. This I can't. I forgot how this feels like. I can't believe that I actually started to feel so bored out of painting. This was actually fun, and then I started doing more and more. Next thing you know, 10 minutes become 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then after that, I have to stop stream. And then after that, I feel so happy. Okay, wonderful. We will do like a emergence of bluish green and blue. Like if to have the whole thing just bluish green, it's not gonna be as interesting. So yes, if you want something to look interesting, I realize for highlights and shadows that it's not just like dark brown as shadows, mid-tone, brown, and light brown for highlights. It's like a variation of color is really interesting and appealing to the eye because it's like there's no one light source. There's always a reflection. Like if I put a yellow ball on the red table, even though the light source is white, the lights will reflect from the white light source onto the red table, and the color of the red will reflect back on the yellow ball. So you see there's a lot of variations out there. Lots of things to keep your eye occupied and on drugs. Lots of eye candy. Okay, we have like my little color palette here. We'll put like a drop. Okay, maybe 2 drops because we have to color it. We're doing a little bit of that base color. Looking pretty good. Quite like it. If I do say so myself. Sometimes you just gotta say it, man. You just gotta say that it looks good. I think the sculpture is already looking so awesome and so good. So it's like whatever I do is kind of like a, I don't know, cherry on top. When you got a good looking sculpture, you got a good looking sculpture, you know. So over here, you gotta be a little Okay. Add a little bit of that. Oh my god, my brain is starting to be a little waka waka. Okay, add a little of that blue here. Oh my gosh, is that so hard to say? Gosh, brain, you're so silly. Okay, so we want like a little bit of that emergence transition. Okay. So we want it to come out of the cube. So this is how I portray the story, how the story goes. Okay. I think here's fine. Okay. Alright. And then we get some of that green in there as well. Give it a nice color. Blue green, so it's okay. No, here's different. Here is green, blue, green, blue. Okay. I'm not sure you guys understand what I was saying, but yeah. Okay, get some of that white, people, and edit again. I think this is our third time doing this, but it's all about that layer, air. Okay. Now, for the last touch, to combine the hand on the dragon. Okay, so I got the angle down. Put some here and put some here. Just hold it in there for a bit. And voila!